Good morning, good morning, good morning, guys. 10 a.m. over here on the Pacific Coast. Welcome back. Wow, what an episode. What a finale. I'm in my own feelings because I have my own thoughts about this, of course. I always do. And I'm excited to hear your thoughts because, guys, I've already done the recap. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. This is mainly for you guys to be able to chime in because I love to hear your opinions. I'm going to really quickly just go through the recap, talk about everything that happened just in case you missed it, and then go ahead and call in because I want to hear your thoughts. And then, guys, just to kind of let you know what's going on today, because we have a really busy day. We're doing Popping Off on Pop Culture with Pops, and that's at 1 p.m. PST. And then also, guys, tonight we're doing Block Party at 7 p.m. with Sherelle on Sherelle's World. So again, guys, there's a lot busy day, but that's a good thing. We like a busy day. So with that being said, make sure you like this video. Let's jump right into the recap and then get this going. All right. So I'm going to start off with how the episode started off. In Ramona's house for her Christmas decoration without Mario or Avery. It was kind of sad, but I have to say Ramona has good taste. She might be a lot of things, but her taste, it's good. Being a successful woman on her own, she does it. She's a little manic. She's a little kooky in her own way. Don't hold that against me, but I dig her. I see why we keep her around. But I did want to say also, Luann coming in with Desmond Child. We're stepping up. We're finally stepping up in the world. Desmond Child living La Vida Loca, living on a prayer, living life on a prayer. What I might have it wrong right now, but whatever the case is, it's at least not money can't buy you class. Like, it's a step up from there. You know what I'm saying? She goes into the studio, and I thought this was interesting. I never am all for bullying and everything like that, but people were sounding off on Lou's singing voice. And this poor woman, she puts on a great show, right? But the singing, she's no Celine Dion. And I don't think she doesn't say that she is, you know? But she goes in there and she's like, Viva la Diva. And it has like this kind of inner rasp. So everybody, not everybody, but a lot of the Bravo fans were saying, Luann, look for your inner Adam's apple. It's down there somewhere. And I was like, oh man, you guys are ruthless. But again, guys, at least she's trying. At least she's putting herself out there. And, you know, that's more than I can say for a lot of us. Guys, 48 in the room. Let's hit 55. I always like to go a little bit just so I don't, get disappointed. But thank you guys again so much for watching, and let's keep it moving. So Lou was reaching for her inner sexy rasp when delivering the Viva La Diva song in the studio. I thought it was a great kind of ode to her whole storyline, but with no disrespect, Lou, I think it might be time to wrap that storyline. With Money Can't Buy You Class, Feelin' Giovanni, and Viva La Diva, we can make yourself like a little Kids Bop album. We can call it the Countess Hits, and then we can just send you off on your way. And then we'll take Dorinda back. Because I know, guys, you all are sounding off in the comments, and you're ripping my head off a little bit, but that's okay. You're saying, why are you sticking up for Dorinda? Dorinda's been bullying. Dorinda's taking people's heads off. Like, why would you stick up for that? Guys, I'm trying to look at it from a different perspective. No, I'm not condoning the behavior of Dorinda this season. I think it's a little out there and obviously alcohol induced, but also she's going through a different stage in her life. And much like her renovation of her Berkshire big, huge Bluestone Manor, and also her apartment in New York City, she's kind of, that's her life. It's a representation of her life. So I'm not sticking up for her. I'm just trying to understand her. That's all. So don't rip my head off. But we'll keep it moving, guys. I did notice, though, when we got into Dorinda's apartment, I do want to say this. She totes around Luke, who is Caroline Stanbury's old stylist. He was always featured on Ladies of London. He follows Caroline Stanbury everywhere. If you guys don't know her, she's amazing. I love her. I just did her podcast, Divorced Not Dead, so you can check it out. It's coming up in the next few weeks. Caroline Stanbury is kind of like a little icon over there in London. Well, now in Dubai. She's in Dubai now, but we'll keep it moving. I just thought it was funny that he makes his way to different Bravo shows. Luke does, because we don't usually get a whole lot of Bravo crossovers. And when we do, we enjoy them. You know, the waters are calming. So guys, Dorinda ended up saying the waters are calming. The waters, oh, she spoke too soon. When she said the waters are calming, she's pretty much talking about her life and everything kind of starting to relax. And maybe she didn't speak too soon because maybe everything is starting to come to a relaxed, calm end. But she's sitting there saying that everything's coming to, or is starting to calm, and now everything has started to blow up. I'll get to that at the end too, because I thought at the end for the finale, I know the producers pushed the castmates to really dig and try to go out with a bang for the finale so they can hook another season. And Dorinda is the one who delivered that at her own expense of looking kind of manic and talking about Tinsley. Dorinda's the one who put herself out there for the show, and she's the one who ended up getting cut from the show. So it just goes to show nobody's safe. I know yesterday I was on Sherelle's World and we had a caller, and I believe her name was Cynthia, and she said Kyle will never get cut from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I don't think that's true. Just like Vicky thought she would never get cut from Real Housewives of Orange County, no one is ever safe, especially when Bravo starts paying you out the wazoo and then they can't justify why they're paying you. Go ask Nene if you don't believe me. She'll tell you. Just saying. Just saying. But let's keep it moving to something positive, guys. Sonja Morgan's townhouse. So Sonja starts giving Ramona a tour, and she walks up. The carpet's out on the lawn. Well, the concrete lawn. Sonja starts walking her around, and everything's starting to be gutted. It looks fresh. The before and afters are amazing. What I can't get over the most, aside from how incredible the townhouse looked, was why does Sonja have 3 interns? Again, if you saw my recap, my whole thought process on this is everyone thinks that Sonja is kind of a bad businesswoman. She's not a bad businesswoman. She has 3 interns who are acting as assistants, and she's not paying anybody. She's giving them college credits, and she's pretty much lending out the Morgan name. That means a lot, especially over there, I'm sure, in these prestigious schools. And when you get your name signed off by a Morgan, I'm sure it carries some weight. So she gets free labor. I'm digging it. And then all of us are saying that, she has no business, whatever. I don't think so. Alabama Camper, thank you so much for the super sticker. But, Ramona ended up liking the place. We think it's fresh. And we're proud of Sonja because she's about to shed her old snakeskin, and we're moving on to the new apartment. She originally kept the townhouse because her daughter grew up there, and that's where she had all of her memories. But now that her daughter's in college, she knows, she doesn't need this space, and it's time to move on. So with that being said, I'm going to move on from Sonja, and I'm going to go over to Leah, Bunny, and Kiki, because this is a modern family dynamic. This actually kind of reminds me of my family dynamic with my mom, and maybe not this verbally aggressive, but wow. Okay, so Leah, Bunny, and Kiki, they sit down to do gingerbread house decorating, which I thought was pretty cute. It's kind of like booking one of those wine and painting gigs where you sit around the table, somebody's coaching you through, you do it with them, and blah, blah, blah. Except they have a whole production crew in front of them, and it's not the same as like what we would be doing. But that's okay. The conversation kicks off with how's everything going, blah, blah, blah. But then we really dive into it. Leah says to her mom, you told me to go to HELL. And her mom said, what did you say to me first? And Leah laughs, kind of chuckles, and says, I told you to F off. And Kiki's laughing too. Now, guys, I'm not bashing Leah at all. And I would never tell my mom to F off. Not in a million years. Like, not in a million years at all. But the thing is, she's going to catch a lot of flack for this. And I only say that because I know how aggressive the Bravo fans can be in this whole little network of fandom, whatever. And people are going to end up saying to her, you let your kid laugh while you're disrespecting your mom, their grandma, in front of her. And people are going to rip her apart. I see it already. She thought she had to worry about and answer for Hurricane Leah. This is going to be bigger than that. Guys, we have 95 in the room. Everyone hit like and let's hit 100. And don't forget, guys, we're doing Popping Off with Pops at 1 p.m. PST today. We have a lot of big surprises, but you'll see it then. All right. I got to skip this. I was going to bring up... No. Cabaret. I got to skip it. Cabaret. Leah called it, though. These ladies are sick of the cabaret. And Bethany has been saying that for how long now? Everybody's so done with Luann's cabaret, but Luann is not going to miss an opportunity to get her cabaret on the show. She loves a good moment to kind of put herself out there and talk about herself. And that's exactly what this cabaret is. Just like Leah said that everybody's sick of this show. Yes, everybody is sick of it, but she has a new audience member in Leah. She pointed that out. Like, hey, listen, I'm here. I'm new. I'm interested. Except then when we get started for the first like 10, 15 minutes, Luann's throwing out these zingers that aren't landing. She's addressing her divorce, her tragic arrest, her drinking, everything that's kind of, she's trying to make the butt of the joke on herself, but they're not really landing. And then finally she ends up throwing something out there with Mary F. Kill, where Sonja can kind of impromptu come in there and save the day, which that's exactly what I think she did. Sonja saved the day, guys, because Sonja's on top of it. Now, before I thought Sonja kind of looked like a little bit of a jerk when she missed the meeting or the rehearsal, whatever, for her Century 21 big debut, right? But now when I saw her impromptu and I see that Luann's been rehearsing this whole time, and then Sonja comes in with just like these little one-liners that are killer, it's like, Luann, you might want to pay Sonja some more money, because she's kind of, she is the show. It should be Sonja's show. Actually, Sonja should just go off and do a cabaret since Century 21 closing down. If the clothing line's not going to work, just go do a cabaret yourself. It's not stealing anything. It's technically like Luann stealing your show. Again, guys, no disrespect, but that's just how it feels. Everybody was laughing at Sonja, not Luann. And speaking of Sonja, guys, did you see the neck and facelift? Not only did she get a facelift on that townhouse, her neck and facelift, that is doing something right. That's coming out of COVID and quarantine, like on point. She doesn't even look like the same person that was at the finale. She looks like two totally different people. And she reaches out to Leah and she's asking Leah, oh no, I don't feel good about myself. I've been focusing on all my businesses and now I need to worry about my health. And Leah's trying to help her. That's what I love about some of these housewives. Like when they talk about something and they have follow through. It's one of the things that we love about Bethany. And we just saw it from Sonja. Sonja looks like $1 million in her Zoom confessionals, and it's ridiculous. I am living for Sonja. I love it. I love the fact that she looks so incredible and she's so confident now, because a lot of times people try to beat her up. We've seen it in previous seasons. Guys, 108 in the room. Let's get to 110. Yeah, but I just want to point out that she should be getting the star pay. And she deems also... in the show, she deems Tinsley uneffable. She says that she would kill Ramona. And she said Dorinda may be a sleeper, but she'd be a hit in bed. She's good with these little, they're like nice nasties. She delivers them, just like Luann's legs about the drag queen. We'll talk about that in a minute. But she delivers these little nice nasties, and they go over our head, and we just think she's funny. And then she's like, ah! That's why I like Sonja. We have to keep her around. Her and Ramona, they're staples. We have to keep them. But let's get to drag queen bingo. Drag queen bingo, Sonja Morgan, she looked like the mom of the prince in Shrek. If you guys saw her, she looked like the one that was all dressed up. She looked a little funny, but it's drag queen bingo. Everyone's supposed to dress up. Everybody really brought their A game, especially Dorinda with the turban. She showed up and she came through. I thought it was funny that she threw the shade at Luann and she said, here's something else that Luann's going to be able to steal for her show. And we know that Luann will. We know she will. But I thought it was great. It was a bedazzled turban. What I didn't think was great, though, was Ramona showing up with a straight man. What are you thinking? So Ramona ends up showing up with a straight man, and everybody's giving her crap. Straight Ron. Like Leah said, he shows up with the straight man energy. He comes in, comes through, and he has this kind of like aggressive, I'm not here to be with Ramona, but here to meet women, and it's okay to have friends. And he's very creepy, this guy, very creepy. But I have to give it to Ramona. Just like Leah, her mom, and her baby daddy, they have these modern day dynamics. And Ramona likes to go out and meet different men, meet different guys, and date around. So she totes Ron around so he can meet different women. Pretty much so he can meet some of the other housewives that are there with them. Wow. She just wants a wingman. It's pretty much a wingman. That's what he is. He's just a guy friend who will flirt with all the ladies. And yeah, Ramona said that because Sonja said, why would you bring a straight man to a gay bingo drag queen LGBTQ event? And Ramona said, it's in the header. You need to put it in the header as a businesswoman. You're not doing it right. It has to say in the header gay only. It didn't say that. So when Sonja goes up on stage and she ends up calling out Ramona, of course, Ramona jumps in almost like a Lisa Rinna moment where she has to hog all of the attention, kind of take over. But this is classic Sonja and Ramona, and this is why we can't get rid of them. They feed off of each other, whether it's on a vacation with the rooms or whether it's a moment where one of them has the mic and it's one of their events. They're always going back and forth and kind of fighting with each other or bickering, but they know they're putting on a show. And I feel like right after they call each other and they're like, oh, love you. I feel like that's how it goes. But I did think it was interesting that Leah was so straightforward and realistic with her point of view. She thinks that Ron is a creep. She thinks Ron's a creep, and he ends up saying that I can make you shine. You're in your prime. She's like, oh, okay, gross. Guys, what a weirdo. Ron is a creep. Leah calls it out, and that's why people are saying, I don't like her. She's not the right fit for a housewife, but she actually is. She's our modern day housewife. She might not have millions of dollars, and she might actually not be a wife technically, but what housewife is a wife these days? And sure, you can send me a list because I know that there are some actual married housewives. But what I'm trying to say is I like Leah. She's refreshing. She carries out the storylines. She's always there. She pushed Elise against Ramona to cover that kind of conflict. She was there with this whole end of the night Dorinda conflict, which I'm about to jump into. She's always there to go back and forth with Ramona, which Bethany isn't there to do. So let's throw some respect Leah's way, because even though she's a newbie, her first season, she's carrying it out. And she's not drinking now. So she has conflict, which is her alcohol problems and her issues with her mom, and she has resolution by trying to address those issues and by not drinking. So we have to give her some credit. That's all I'm saying. That guy creeped on Leah. Yes, I think so too, Grandma Scary. Guys, 153 in the room. Let's hit 200. Everybody go ahead and like this video and let's keep it moving. Okay. Again, I thought he was disgusting. So I thought it was a little bit of a contradiction with Leah saying friends with benefit and Ramona has to walk off. Ramona's always disgusted with what Leah says, but this is a facade. It's a storyline and Ramona's reaching. We can all see that at this point because we caught Ramona saying that she loves the symmetry of the number 69, which obviously represents a sexual position that we're not going to go into because this is a YouTube channel and we don't want to get demonetized, but how can Ramona talk about stuff like that and then the chubby P word over in Mexico with Sonja, but then she can't say friends with benefits, and every time something comes out of Leah's mouth, it's disgusting. I'm not buying it anymore from Ramona. I don't really dig her. I'm starting to get sick of her obvious antics. But at the same time, I understand why she's necessary for the franchise. So, what I was going to say about Sonja's one-liner was she said, I've met a lot of drag queens, but I've never met one with legs as long as Lou's. Viva la Diva. It was the Viva la Diva song. Again, another nice nasty. Sonja delivers them, and she's so clever with them. And nobody's going to be mad at Sonja because she makes fun of herself. And then this is where we get to the end where it's so obviously pre-produced, it's not even funny. So production, this is what happened. I'm going to walk you guys through it. Guys, 144 in the room. Let's hit back up to 150. This is what happened. It was so pre-produced. The production ends up calling all of the ladies to sit in a circle to talk about everything that's happened, all of the come up for the year, whatever. So Leah ends up leading into the conversation by saying, you know, guys, if Tinsley hadn't have introduced blah, 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 leading in pretty much kind of thanking Tinsley for introducing them is where she was going before she was interrupted by Dorinda, who just went off. She's like, no way, that BIT, I'm not going to finish it. She's like, she almost ruined the show. She breached her contract. Pretty much she almost ruined us. Dorinda's not having it, and she's not giving any credit to Tinsley. She uses this as her big moment because the production crew, producers are coaching all of the women. This is the finale. We need ratings. We need you guys to come back next season. So you guys have to deliver something. And this is where Dorinda uses that moment to pop off, make it big. She's going to make a big, huge exit. And this is kind of where I said Dorinda took one for the team because she's putting herself out there like this, but then we're the ones cutting her from the show. We're not the ones, but it was either a housewife who got her fired for her drinking and her aggression, or it was the production team who got her fired. We have insiders who said production team. We'll find out soon. But apparently she could be on her way back in. We're going to find out. I'm going to go ahead and drop the link to see if anybody wants to call in. 148 in the room. Here we go. But all in all, guys, that's why I felt like it was a little bit of a lackluster finale. I didn't think it was the best. And I was talking about this with my fiance yesterday. I feel like Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and Real Housewives of New York, both this season, they've not been the best. I don't think the storylines have been great. Right. Did it drop? Yeah. And some of you guys were also asking me why I stick up for Dorinda. I don't stick up for Dorinda. I just I try to understand where she's coming from. Jamal, help me out with this, please.
What's going on? Where are we starting?
Let's start with Dorinda.
That ending was just terrible. I mean, there was no reason for it. So you can just tell, like you said, it was pre-produced. I mean, in my mind, I have a feeling her being dismissed has something to do with Tinsley, because you don't have that much venom for someone who's no longer on the show. Tinsley left, and she left mid-season, which generally I've never seen someone just be allowed to leave mid-season, even if they're moving. So for her to be cut so abrupt, because if you notice,
do you think she gave back half of the money from her contract?
I would think so. She can afford it.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, Coupon King for sure.
Oh yeah, Scott wrote that check. He's like, baby, I need you in Chicago, but let's go. So yeah. She left midway through the season. If you notice, they changed the intro right when she was gone. They had all new taglines, and Tinsley was taken out. So I have a feeling that she was behind it, because I think you mentioned it, like she was having issues with the housewife who felt unsafe. So if it were any of the ladies on the cast, I don't really think they would be around Dorinda as much as they are. So it makes sense that Tinsley was the one who felt unsafe and therefore removed herself. And due to Dorinda's outlandish behavior, I could see Tinsley not feeling safe with as much as Dorinda was coming at her. So she removed herself, and production had to let her go, because if something would have happened with Tinsley, they could be sued for a lot of money. So it makes sense.
Okay. All right, Jamal, stay on real quick. I'm going to bring up a couple other callers, and I'm going to bring you up in a few minutes.
Sure.
All right, guys, I'm about to bring up Leslie, and when I bring up Leslie, I want to talk about this real quick. I'm going to let Leslie talk about what she wants to talk about too. And thank you, Hermione, for the super sticker. But I want to talk about this modern dynamic with Leah, Kiki, and Bunny, and doing the gingerbread house, and having this open conversation about telling your mom to F off in front of your kid. I feel like she's going to catch a lot of crap for that.
I didn't see that. I'm literally like one step behind. Like, I just watched the Beverly Hills reunion yesterday. Because I was like, what? I mean,
you're going to be blown away. It was kind of laughed off, which I really like Leah, but the idea telling your mom to F off, it just kind of like blows my mind, especially the kid watching.
Yeah, it really wouldn't have any teeth. Like, who does that?
No.
And then if tells you to, bleep off, then you're going to have an issue with that, because that's what's going to happen. You're the example setter, whatever. Like,
yeah. So is your daughter going to grow up and tell you to F off?
That she's not even going to grow up and tell you. She's going to tell you tomorrow. Like, really, think about it.
Why?
And this is the problem that I have with these shows, that they put these people on that are so blatantly ignorant, and whether you want to believe it or not, there's a really young demographic watching, and they're like, I want to be a YouTube celebrity, or I want to be, I want to do this and I want to do that, or I want to be a reality show star. And this is the example that they're getting. Like, this is why my niece wasn't allowed to watch Disney Channel while she was at my house, because she swore to God she was Hannah Montana. Like, kids at that age are super, super, super.
If I had a kid and it starts acting out like Hannah Montana.
Yeah, no. I was like, no.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, not happening. But this is like, and I'm not her parent, but she was with me enough, because I have a weird schedule. So I was off a lot of the times when she was off from school, that I had her a lot. And I was just like, no, you're not watching that. You're not watching that. Matter of fact, you're not watching TV. Here, read a book,
Well, with that, if you didn't really necessarily get to catch the episode, knowing what you know about the Real Housewives of New York, what are you looking forward to most in the reunion?
Is Dorinda going to be allowed on the reunion?
Yeah, Dorinda's at the reunion.
Okay, Dorinda's at the reunion, so I'm looking forward to her telling everybody really
She does.
she wants to tell them.
I'm
looking forward to her breaking things down. What I will tell you is this, going back to Beverly Hills, what is Kyle's problem?
What do you mean?
I mean, she is a BI. I won't say the rest of it.
Why?
Because all she does is shut people down. Like Garcelle, she said that Garcelle didn't pay for something. You don't talk to her about that. You have your assistant call her people and see why the payment wasn't made. You don't bring it up. And she's just so tacky and just doesn't have like.
I just want to jump in on this real quick before we jump back into New York. It's what happened with Kyle. I think it's completely disrespectful to bring up something that was charity out there on the forefront of a national television show. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, for Garcelle to openly admit that the reason on Watch What Happens Live, she said that the person who was least welcoming was Kyle on a national television show, which makes Kyle look bad, was because she couldn't remember any of the other women's names. So it was almost like you said something which comes off so, that really sounds silly.
But she didn't say she was whatever. She said she was unwelcoming. And, you know, Kyle kind of is very standoffish from what I've seen.
But then to defense of Kyle, in the first couple episodes, Kyle was like under her dress. She was playing around with her. She was trying to invite her in and really kind of bond with her. But I almost feel like Garcelle had a different perspective on Kyle from Denise anyways, because Denise came in guns blazing at Kyle this season. And I feel like she was almost coached a little bit.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Denise has that perpetual frown on her face.
Yeah. Well, Lady Leslie, I'm gonna go ahead and drop you down. Stay on, and I'll bring you up at the end. I'm gonna bring up Lady O and find out what she thinks about all this.
All right, honey. Bye.
All right, so Lady O, back onto Real Housewives of New York, just because we're covering that recap, and then today we're doing Popping Off with Pops, popping off on Pop Culture with Pops at 1 p.m. PST, where he wants to cover Beverly Hills, Potomac, Molly and Cynthia, Real Housewives of New York. He's introducing our featured artist and everything in between. Pops has he has a format, just to let you guys know. But let's jump back into Real Housewives of New York, because Lady O, hopefully you watched the episode last night, and I'm curious to see what you think. Hi, Lady O.
Hi, sorry, I was on mute. How's everybody doing today? Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fabulous. You know, I'm a day one New York City Housewives fan, so I have a lot to say.
You're from New York, right?
That's right.
All right.
I'm here right now. So first of all, that was the worst finale I've ever seen in New York Housewives history. That was really boring and uneventful, nothing interesting, and very overproduced. I felt like they were looking for things to film.
Do you think Bethany is sitting at home in her beautiful Hamptons house, like watching the finale, dissecting it, and being like, "You fools"?
Oh my God, yes.
I feel like she is.
First of all, I was a big Dorinda fan. She last night just kind of, I was very disappointed. She was so invested. And Tinsley is gone and happy with her man, and she's still bringing Tinsley up. She's super emotional about it. She's way too invested. I think there's a lot of jealousy and unresolved issues there. Me and Jamal were talking about in the chat. I think that there's some deep-rooted jealousy about, Tinsley has money, old money, and Dorinda happened to come upon a rich guy when she was working at a diner as a single mom.
Yeah.
And I just felt it was no need to bring her up and be so vile and vulgar towards her. What did Tinsley do to this lady?
I don't know, but Lady O, did you notice two similarities between Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and New York this season? One was I felt like we got two kind of lackluster seasons from both of them, but then The second one was and it's not like one got to view the other one, so they did it on purpose, but Denise kept breaking the fourth wall this season with Beverly Hills. Bravo, bravo, bravo. And then over here in New York, it's sure she didn't say bravo, 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 but you can't throw out like things that happen behind the scenes, like her talking about Tinsley almost ruining the show and quitting and all of that. She can't do that on camera, especially if they had any good, any good footage, they would now have to cut it normally. But now it seems like Bravo's just like, if you guys are going to sit there and try to break the fourth wall, we're still going to air it, which is kind of fun for us as fans.
Yeah. And I was thinking to myself, couldn't Tinsley take some kind of some kind of legal action, because she did bring up her contract? That is nobody's business. I don't think you can air things like that. I'm not sure what's in their contract, but I would think that there would be some things that shouldn't be mentioned outside of her and the producers. But that was just something I
feel
thought.
like it was still so vague. I feel like Dorinda did it vague enough.
She did. You're right.
Yeah, she didn't dive too much into the details. I feel like she was able to just say, like, you know what? She breached her contract. Enough said. I'm not doing a toast to that BITC. Like, she went in. But then that's like what you said, kind of like what I said, is why we feel like this is so overproduced. Because I'm going to give you an example. I was around the filming of a finale before for a Bravo show. And I witnessed where the producers kept saying, you guys, this is it. This is the last episode. We really need something. If you guys want to get picked up next season, like, we need an ending to all of this story, and we need a big one. So it almost puts pressure on the cast members. Then what they do is all of the cast members have an open bar. They all get worked up. They get like a little bit of kahunas, like a little bit of a buildup, and then they go in, and wherever they get the opportunity, like Dorinda was spot on. She's like, oh, Tinsley, I hate her. This is my cue. I'm gonna take the finale. And it's like,
but it was also obvious that Dorinda was not sober whatsoever. So I'm not sure. That seemed, I don't know, maybe it was a mixture of the two. Like, she practiced in the mirror at home, and also she took a few drinks to give her the courage. But she was very overdone. It was just an overreaction.
Yeah. Well, and it's going to be interesting. Did you see the preview for the reunion or no?
Yes, of course.
Dorinda goes in. She goes in. She's going to go in on Tinsley. She goes in on Ramona. Wow.
Yeah. And speaking of Karen, I mean Ramona, I actually will say, and I know I'm going to get backlash for this, but I'm a day one. So Ramona is a fixture there. And I feel like last night we had two examples of Ramona does kind of have that soft spot. Like, when we saw her congratulating Sonja on the townhouse, it was very sincere. It was very sisterly. And I think that is a great reason why Sonja and Ramona, no matter what we may say about them, they're going to be on the show for a while, because you know why? They're probably the only duo I see on there that is solid from the day one, no matter who comes and who goes off of that cast. Ramona and Sonja are always tight. No matter what little fights they have, they end strong and they begin strong. And that's just what it is.
I think they'll cut Lou before they'll end up cutting Sonja and Ramona, because they have a better dynamic than Lou. And again, everybody keeps getting sick of this Cabaret. And sure, you can come out with a new song, Viva la Diva, whatever, but it's not. It's just a new song. It's not a new storyline. We're getting the same damn storyline. You know what I mean? I'm gonna bring up a.
You sounded much better than her, by the way. And Luann
is I saw a meme on Bravo. Hi, Kelly. How are you?
I'm good, Adam. How are you?
Hi, Kelly.
Hi.
I saw a meme this morning on Bravo where they were like, people are so ruthless too. They're awful. But they were like, Luann was digging down for her sexy voice, and she found her Adam's apple. And I'm like, you guys are awful, man. Because it sounded like, Viva la Diva.
Yeah, she needed some T-Pain in the background and just some auto-tune, because she was raspy. She did sound a little draggy.
They auto-tuned that during their performance at that party. But totally auto-tuned it.
But you know what? I think that's the exciting part about it, is people just know they're getting this like little shoddy kind of out there kooky performance that it's just like almost like joke is on Luann. But really,
yeah, because she's the only one that takes it seriously. Like she thinks she's like Madonna or somebody. It's like, what is going on? But
they're laughing at her, not with her.
I did figure out what I hate worse than Luanns singing.
What's that?
Ramona's dancing.
Oh, yeah, she's Elaine. Elaine from Seinfeld.
Oh, she gets out there.
I like her dancing.
Oh no,
I can't dance. So I thought it was good. No.
No.
I have no rhythm.
Well, she's another one. She thinks like when she's out there dancing that, oh, look at me, don't I look sexy? And it's just like,
you're right.
No, you don't. You look silly.
Do you know, and this isn't, I hate when they bring up like stuff like this, and Dorinda body shames Ramona in the reunion, which I hate. I hate when they go dirty like this, but
yeah, that's not good.
Ramona was body shaming Sonja, telling her she could lose some weight. And then the Bravo fans reacted when they were in Mexico and Luann was playing volleyball and Ramona was dancing off the side in her bikini. And they were saying, how can you tell Sonja to lose weight when you're over here and you're not? Like, it's people. I hate that they bring up the storylines like this, because then they're opening this ruthlessness now to defend the other housewives. If the fans are like now a fan of Sonja, they're going to attack Ramona now on her weight. And we're opening these new conversations that don't need to be had.
Right.
Yeah, but you have to remember the dynamic between Sonja and Ramona is quite different from Dorinda and Ramona. So if my best friend tells me, "Ooh, girl, you need to lose 10 pounds," versus if my colleague who I can't stand, but we have like a frenemy vibe, who tells me, "Oh, you need to lose a little weight." It's like, excuse me? No, thank you. So I think we have to consider a little more than just being emotional and reacting to something we may see, but we don't know their friendship. Maybe behind the scenes, it's possible that Sonja may say the same thing to Ramona. So
you're saying so it might just be a no holds barred conversation of just whatever they want to say goes, and they just understand that it's all love?
I just think they have that relationship, unfortunately. I'm not saying I would be okay with it, but I see the things that Sonja also says to Ramona. She puts her out there when she gets drunk. Remember that Halloween that they had that dinner for Halloween. I think it was Luann's dinner, and Sonja was going up on Ramona. She was saying all kinds of stuff to her. So I don't think Sonja holds her tongue with Ramona either. I just think it might be editing. I don't know. I don't want to take up for Ramona. I think she can be a little vile, but I'm just saying. Double advocate.
I want to piggyback off of that really quick, because we've had so many times where in the reunions, they end up exposing the other housewives for calling them before they filmed the day before and calling them to know what they're going to talk about. And even like when they were, I want to say it was Newport, or it could have been one of the other ones in this season of Real Housewives of New York, Ramona was pushing Elise to make that comment to Leah, how she's never going to get a man if she drinks and acts like that. Elise even said that Ramona was pushing me to make that statement. It's like they're pre-producing it themselves behind the scenes, and I don't know. I feel like that's what we're watching.
Yeah, and that's probably why Elise and Ramona fell out, because Ramona brought her on. She should feel indebted and do what Ramona says, and Elise probably got some balls and said, "No, I make my own decisions. I'm grown. I'm not going to do that. I'll say what I want to say," and that's probably why they fell out.
I agree. I'm bringing Jamal back up just to have some input in here.
Hi, Jamal.
Hey, Lydia. Hey, Kelly.
Hello.
Hey, love.
So
good.
Now, since we have everybody in the room, I want to move on to drag queen bingo.
Oh, Lord.
Have you guys seen that? Before we get started, have you guys seen the movie Shrek, where the mom tries to get the prince to hook up with Fiona? Do you remember that? The fairy godmother?
Yes.
Vaguely.
That's what Sonja looked like. You have to look up the photo. But Sonja she's spot on with her little nice nasties, talking about lose legs longer than a drag queen's, or nice, whatever she was saying. And she always gets in there with her comments. I'm curious to see what you guys think about drag queen bingo.
Sonja's the best MC for me. She's hilarious. People don't realize she is witty, but she just catches you off guard. She's not like consistent, but when she goes in, and people laugh it off. They're like, "Oh, that's just Sonja." I'm like, "No, she got you. That's what it is. She got you.
Yep.
Take that L. Hold it. sit in it. She got you." I was like, "Oops."
Yep, that's my point about her and Ramona. I think that Sonja could tear up Ramona and not even blink. I think she's so off the cuff. She could really cut Ramona with her words. So the little stuff Ramona says is like kindergarten shade. But Sonja, oh yeah, she's coming.
Well, and then I also have to say, I said this earlier, and I also said it in my recap yesterday. A lot of people throw shade at Sonja, but she has 3 interns in there working for free. 3 interns running her.
Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, how can that just blows my mind. People pay a lot of money for that.
The reason why is, go ahead, Kelly. Go ahead.
No, I was to say she must be doing something right because clearly she's a successful businesswoman. She keeps trying, she keeps doing, she keeps moving. So,
that's what they can't say. They can't say anything bad about her because if it doesn't work, she takes it behind the house, she shoots it, and then she moves on.
The thing with Sonja is her personality makes it easy to dismiss her. But if you remember, like she's like she went to Bethany's brand summit, and for me, that says a lot that Bethany would even allow her into that world because that's Bethany's heart and soul. And for her to bring Sonja in means she has a lot of respect for Sonja on the business level. It's just Sonja wasn't putting the people around her who could actually help her take her businesses to the next level. I thought the toaster oven was a good idea. I don't think she had the right staff around her to push it and make it come to fruition.
Well, I think Bethany sees that honestly they have a lot in common because just like Bethany was trying to push her vegan cookies and she took those behind the house and she shot them. It's like they're both pushers. They try to chase businesses and these ideas. They're not going to stop until something works, and if it doesn't work, they move on. And I think Bethany respected that in Sonja.
Oh yeah, you can see Sonja's hustle, her grind. That's why I was like rooting for her. I knew the Nigerian football team was a long shot, but I really liked the toaster oven idea. I liked her logo, Sonja with the sexy J. I thought she was going in the right direction. Again, she just didn't have the right people around her, but she learned from her mistakes. She kept pushing. I thought her clothing line would be good because I personally like Sonja's style. I think it's fun, glamorous. She looks great. This time with her Sonja by Sonja Morgan, she had the right people in place and she took her time.
But they're saying Century 21 closed down.
No, I work right across the street. So I will tell you, I shouldn't tell you, but I did stop in last week. I had a gift to buy and I did see Sonja. Her collection's on the 4th floor when you go up the escalator. And it looks really nice.
Good,
I don't know if they plan on closing down, but they have locate 2 in Brooklyn, 1 here in Queens, and then there's 1 in the financial district where I work. And her clothes were really cute. I will tell you, they had a really good sale back. But yeah, it was.
When I lived
it
in
was
New York,
only
that
2
was
weeks
one
ago.
of my favorite stores was Century 21. No, somebody said no, they closed down, so her line must have not been that successful. And I was like, what? No, nothing ever works out for this poor woman. But that makes me
I was there 2 weeks ago. They're open. The one in the financial district at least. So.
And it looks like quality stuff.
It is so cute. And it's a good price point. Like some tops and blouses. She had a lot of nice blouses out for fall. Like they're really blousy and ruffly. Some tie-up stuff. And it was like $50, $80. It was very reasonable. And it was cute.
And the intern thing is good because think about it. She's not paying labor. The interns get credit for whatever. And the interns get to be seen on the Real Housewives of New York. What more exposure could you ask for at that young of an age? I would have done it for free, to be honest.
I'm sure they were working for free.
But they have somebody who runs the house. She has somebody who's running her house and her day-to-day that's going around, running her business and her little emails and stuff, and then somebody who's assisting her. That's ridiculous. It's so genius.
But think about like Bethany had what was her name? She had her assistant, who became her operations person. Then she had an assistant. So they all have behind the scenes. I'm sure they all have multiple assistants. But the difference is they paying them a nice wage while Sonja's getting it for free.
Okay,
ain't nothing wrong with that.
I'm not mad. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not mad.
But didn't in this Century 21 venture, I think we saw she has an actual business partner, the Hindi guy. So I think when she wore that wrap dress that her breast kept falling out, that guy. So I think she took, like you said, Jamal, she took some initiative and said, you know what, I'm not having the right executive team to push this forward. I'm going to go to someone who's a little more successful and see if I can do this. But I think her heart and her mind were always in the right place. But she does come off as the ditzy, sexy blonde who gets drunk a lot. So sometimes we don't take her serious.
It's like the Paris Hilton syndrome. It's like, even like, like Paris Hilton was like, it was cute. I knew what I was doing. It was a facade. She's like, I'm not an idiot. I'm a smart businesswoman. She's like, I made you guys think I was an idiot. And I made a character out of it.
Well,
actually, she does the same thing. She has the Paris Hilton syndrome. She likes to look ditzy and cute and have men want to help her. Not just men, but people and she likes to kind of play into that, but she's no fool. She's really smart.
No, it's very difficult to play. If you're an intelligent person, excuse me, let me back that up. An intelligent person can only play ditzy really well. Because if you're truly not a smart person, you can't, I don't know, there's a lot of people in acting and in the industry itself that are play ditzy, crazy characters, but they're highly intelligent people in real life. It's harder to pull that off. I don't know if I'm making myself clear or not.
No, that makes sense.
No, yeah.
You're saying when you're dumb, it's really hard to play dumb.
Yeah, it just seems more, I don't know. Yeah, it just seems more natural, I guess, lack of a better word. But yeah, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Jamal, Lady O, and Kelly, before I end up dropping you guys out, because we have Popping Up with Pops with to get ready for today, I'm curious real quick. Let's go around the room and say what we're looking forward to most from this reunion that's coming up. Obviously, Dorinda's going to be ripping heads. Leah's going to act as Elise's mouthpiece. Ramona's disgusted with Dorinda's behavior, and Sonja's just laughing her butt off at how ridiculous all of it is. But I'm curious what you guys are looking forward to most. So let's start with Kelly, and then we'll go to Lady O, and then Jamal.
I did just want to add real quick, because I know you're doing your show here in a minute, but I wanted to add real quick about the dynamic with Leah and her mom.
Yeah.
Real quick, like I kind of have an open relationship. I have teenage children as well, and I have an open relationship with with those kids. And I just wanted to say, not everybody would understand that kind of dynamic of a relationship. They have, I think Leah's been on her own for such a long time. She's been, since she was 17 out on her own. So she kind of feels like her mom is more like of a friend than a parent, because her mom didn't really parent her. So anyways, but that's kind of why.
I completely, actually, just to validate what you're saying, I understand that, because just from and I know my mom is watching this right now, but from a perspective of, I grew up in the house with my dad, and my brothers grew up with my mom. So now I have a very different relationship with my parents, whereas like my mom is like my best friend. We go out together, we go on vacations together, we do everything together, and we act like, sometimes we even fight like brother and sister, and it's ridiculous. And I feel like Leah is going to have that relationship with Kiki. You can already tell it already.
Exactly. Yeah. They do have that kind of relationship. Totally.
Yeah. It's not so much of like how Ramona is always like on top of Avery, and she's like, Avery, you need to be on top of this in your education. If you want to get a good man and you want to be wealthy, you have to do this, this, this. Leah doesn't do that to Kiki.
Yeah, well, I think Kiki will want to hang out with her mother, and I don't think I see Ramona's daughter wanting to do the same.
Yeah.
I think her mom's going to drive her crazy.
Yeah. Fair enough.
But anyways, I'm looking forward to probably just seeing Dorinda just kind of giving everybody her piece of her mind, as she usually does, and watching Andy kind of lose his mind because these women just kind of go off and start screaming over each other, as you can see in the preview. So that's kind of what I'm looking forward to.
All right. And I love that too, because it's funny. Andy has been asking for this in-house reunion since, like he said, what was it, February or March? And now he got it, and he's like, ugh, this is too much. Yeah. Lady O, what do you think? What are you looking forward to most?
So I'm actually looking for something similar, but the opposite. I got a message from Shan. She wants me to put this out in there. She said that she wonders if all seasons Dorinda is acting angry to secure the check-in storyline. But for me, I'm going to rebut to that. I'm actually looking forward to the reunion. I want to see some apologies from Dorinda. I was disappointed. I love me some Dorinda, make it nice. But she made it real ugly this season. And I don't think she was acting, Shan. I don't know what you guys think, but I don't think she was acting. I saw that she really was off the cuff kind of angry and drunk. And I think I want to see her really come to Jesus, quote unquote, moment where she says, you know what, guys, my behavior wasn't great. So she can go out with grace and maybe take a year off, date a nice millionaire, come back with a new business and a new storyline and a new facelift and a new weave, because she needs one.
Well, I just want to say this real quick, because before Jamal chimes in, Jamal and I always have the same, I think, input about Dorinda. And I think it's fair to say, yes, we saw like a big moment of weakness in her storyline and her in this season with being so aggressive in her drinking, right? We saw it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like Jamal and I have said, this is also a major transition in her life. And just like her remodels and her going into this new single phase and trying to still incorporate John and not let him feel left out, and still be a mom to Hannah and go through everything else. I feel like she just has like the weight of the world, and honestly, respectfully, like everyone else says, she might need a season off. She might just
I
need
think
a season
so.
off.
I think so. I think she's having an extended period of grieving and mourning, and she needs to get a therapist. And this is not shade. This is honesty from someone who has lost somebody close. I think she could benefit from an actual therapist for a year and really go through some grief therapy to release this thing and find a good man, not some cheesy cornball like John. Somebody who really loves her for her intelligence and wit and her beauty, because she is a wonderful woman. I see that, and she has a heart of gold. She really does.
She does need a witty man, but she also just lost her. So some people don't know this, but a fun fact with Bravo is if you're a castmate of Bravo or you sign at any capacity, even if it's a friend role, if you are collecting a paycheck, one of the benefits that Bravo offers you is free therapy. So when you go through the show and you do the storyline, so Dorinda's had free therapy. Now she's paying for it. But Jamal, what do you think?
I'm looking forward to just seeing Andy and how he manages this in-person reunion since he hasn't done one in a little bit. I want to see, like, is he gonna be able to manage them, like, and I want to see his mannerism, because his mannerisms tend to tell you how the next season's gonna play out. Like when Vicky just lost her mind, you could see she was done. It was over. She was out the door. So I want to see his body language with them, and I'm hoping to see like Dorinda like let the wall down a little bit and just be like, you know what, just like be the Dorinda she was.
I don't know if she's going to be letting her wall down or breaking down everybody else's walls.
Right, but I will say this. In my opinion, her anger also comes from the fact I don't really think she feels the women were there for her in the way they needed to be. Because for me, if I saw my friend in this position, meaning Dorinda's position, you pull them aside off camera and have a firm conversation about what's like the nitty gritty, what's really going on. Like you have to let them know you cannot do this. You can't berate them on camera and do it in a petty way for the world to see. That's just going to make the whole situation worse.
Somehow I feel like Ramona and Luann did do that. I don't know why. Or Sonja. Sonja has a softer delivery. I do think they talked to her on camera and off. It just seems like when they address her about it, she seems like it's redundant. Oh no, not again. Like, I think that's why her walls come up, because she's tired of hearing it.
Well, I think it's because also she attacks everybody, and not in a bad way, but she has something to say about everybody. Like Ramona, she has something to say about, again, she pulled up all of those different headlines about her. Tinsley, she thinks is weak. She thinks Luann's a joke, didn't get a mugshot over it. Sonja, she thinks is like a crackpot. So she goes after everybody, and then when they have ammo on her, she doesn't want to hear it, because now it's like when they were sitting at the table and she took the call from Hannah. She was totally in the wrong. Yes, it's your daughter, but it doesn't matter. You shouldn't have said anything at breakfast, and they wouldn't have said anything, and then you could have taken your call and it wouldn't have been the problem. But you speak up, and now people are speaking back up in rebuttal.
But they back down. That's the problem.
Because she's scary.
And she doesn't move from her position. She says what she has to say straight New York style, and she doubles down, and that's it.
She puts her family, or not her fan. I don't know when your hand became a fan, but she puts her hand like right in your face, and she gets like right in there. It's kind of like aggressive. It's like,
I think it's,
she calls herself the blue-eyed gangster. Come on now.
I guess that's the part I don't understand. Like where I come from, we as a general rule do not allow that to happen. You will get your feelings hurt, camera or not. Like that's the problem. The women back down. She's not gonna do anything to you. All she's gonna do is yell at you. All you do is like, look, don't do it, stop it. This is, and either you do that or you disengage, because you don't have to film with her. You can just film with other people. Like, I'm gonna cut your scenes out. I'm gonna cut your money out. That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, but that may be the reason she can't come back next year. That could possibly be the reason they could have band together and said, you know what, Dorinda's not listening to us. We feel unheard, but she's getting worse and worse. This is the only way. And now seeing last night how she went just OD about Tinsley for no reason, I feel like she might need a 1 year revamp.
Well, she doesn't jab. She goes for the knockout. She cuts pretty deep. She cuts pretty deep when she throws out them slams. So I think they're afraid of what she's gonna say, because she comes hard for them. So that's why they're scared and intimidated of her, is because her words are razor sharp. So
Yeah.
That's the bad thing about Bethany not being there. Bethany would just
Bethany was out. They'd go toe to toe for sure.
Yeah.
And no, Bethany would have her in tears, honey. She did it before.
Oh yeah.
So I'm hoping Bethany comes back. I'm sorry.
I do too. I really miss Bethany.
She's not going to come back though. That's the thing. She already
Yeah.
said it. She doesn't need the money. She's moved on. She's now producing multiple shows on a different network, getting a better pay.
She can come back and produce the Real Housewives of New York. That was it. That she can do that.
True.
She can be EP.
I think it's a good idea.
She could be EP and be a cast member. She can get 2 checks.
But Andy's not gonna cut his paycheck for her.
She would never. Yeah. She's making triple the paycheck.
I know, but it's nice as a fan to dream. Yes,
it could be his charity, an act of goodness and kindness as a donation to the fans.
We can definitely.
I honestly think they should keep Sonja and Ramona. Have one friend they bring along. Have Leah bring one friend along with new money. So then we have the old money versus new money. Then we need Kamora Lee and somebody from her circle, and then cut it. That's it.
There
we need a mix. We need a mix. You know, this is getting boring.
Yep, I agree.
All right, Kelly. All right, Lady O and Jamal. I'm gonna go ahead and drop you guys down and take. I see Grandma Scary waving at me. I'm gonna go ahead and bring her up to say goodbye, and then I'm gonna bring up a few pictures, and we're doing popping off.
Good night, guys. It was fun.
At 1 p.m. I'm gonna bring up a photo too. It was really cute. Pops, I bought him a tripod and everything to get him all set up. So yesterday we did testing. And it was like an hour, but he's like, "Can I be straightforward and blunt?" And he's like, "I hate Darcy and Stacy." And I was like, "Okay, you can't get that aggressive." I'm like,
"Yes,
good job, Pop.
Yes, Pop."
All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and drop you down, and we'll see you in a little bit.
See ya.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Oh. Grandma Scary, I see you waving down there. I'm not gonna forget you. I can never forget you. Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
Okay. So here's the deal.
Tell me.
I think Dorinda knew that she was already fired.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because number one, how aggressive she got about Tinsley stopped her contract in mid-season. She did that. She kept on about that.
Okay.
And then the way she goes after everybody in the finale, in the reunion.
You feel like she just knew that she was done?
I think somebody told her.
Grandma Scary, that's an interesting perspective because some people might say right now, well, if she knew she was done, why would she even come to the reunion? But what people don't know is that Bravo releases the paychecks to these women in increments. Usually they get them in a 3-part increment. And when they sign their checks, they get a first increment at the beginning of filming, one halfway through, and then one once they finish out the reunion. So she might have just been following it through to get her paycheck.
And not only that, but to say her piece about everybody. I mean, if she's got stuff brewing, that's been brewing, Dorinda... She's like an old gangster. She ain't gonna forget. It can be like a feud for generations. She's gonna remember, and she's gonna say her piece. But also, I really think she knows. I think she knows. And the other thing, Bethany was young. Everybody keeps thinking Leah's too young. Bethany was young. When that show started, Bethany was young, like Leah.
Yeah. I don't think she was as young as, she was pretty young. Yeah, you're right. She was young.
Yeah, she was very young.
She was very young. You're right. And people made fun of her too. I always bring this up, but she was driving that little bug that had the skinny girl decal. And Ramona was like, how tacky is that? And Bethany was like, it's tacky to promote my business. Now who's laughing?
Yep, but exactly.
Grandma Scary, since we're hitting right up at the hour, are you going to be joining us with Popping Off with Pops at 1?
You betcha.
All right. Grandma Scary, thank you so much for calling in. I'll get you in with Pops too when you call in. I was just trying to hit everything for today, but Pops' conversation is going to be all over the place. We're covering Potomac, New York, Beverly Hills, Darcy and Stacy, what he doesn't like, which apparently he doesn't like a lot, and I didn't know that, but it's going to be fun. And we're also introducing our artists.
I don't like Stacy. The way
Well,
I think she's passive aggressive towards her sister.
well,
Towards
that's why you have to
Darcy.
call in and chime in with Pops.
Yep, I mean, I don't like either of them that much, but honestly, yeah,
All right, Grandma Scary, then we'll see you at 1 o'clock.
sounds good.
All right, see you then. Robin, thank you so much for the super sticker. Thank you, Robin. Guys, 263 in the room. If you haven't already, please like this video. It helps a great deal. And I want to show you guys a photo of Pops because I thought this was funny. Here we go. I had him getting all ready yesterday. And I got him his tripods, the tripod for the iPad set up. So he's all set up. He's all ready. We talked about what he wanted to talk about. He has a lot of opinions, so it's going to be a lot of fun. It's here in 2 hours at 1 p.m. PST. And also Pops is going to be sharing our artist of the month, which is actually really exciting. I'm going to go ahead and show you. I'm not going to show you the artist of the month, only because if I do, it's going to ruin Pops' whole thing. But Pops ended up here. Let's see if I can bring this up. We have a fun face mask that we're doing inside. It says allow pop-ups. I'm getting all of this, guys. Thank you guys for bearing with me, and thank you guys for the support. You guys are the best. Full size render. All right. So I thought this would be fun, guys. All of us have to wear masks, and we don't know how to communicate when we're going out to these restaurants and stuff. What better way to ask to have somebody buy you a drink? So guys, again, we have a lot of fun things that are going to be in the merch store. We're going to be talking about them on popping off on pop culture with Pops. That's a tongue twister. Don't hold it against me. But again, we have a lot of fun stuff popping up, and Jason's right around the corner. Actually, I think Jason's going to be the one who announces our vacation giveaway. So again, stick with us, guys. A lot of fun stuff. And thank you so much for watching. I love you guys so much, and I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys in 2 hours. You're the best. And yeah, see you guys soon. Bye, guys.